Hi, my name is Jeff. Hey, today we're going to talk about what you see on the screen here, how to set up multiple drop-down boxes with a search value. I've got 8 steps. If you follow them, it should work within your environment. So stay tuned. We're going to jump right to this where you can literally go and say, okay, what do I want to do related? Let's just say orders. And I can reset things, see everything, whatever it is that I want to look at, all within this Gantt view. That's what we're using it for, but you could use it for any number of things. And then we can search for things as well. And notice that these auto reset at that time as well. So this is some pretty easy stuff, actually. It just got to be very meticulous on some of the stuff that you do. So stay tuned. Let's jump right to this. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to be using our guide today. Again, you can purchase these guides on Amazon and other places, or you can just simply pause your video and capture the screen capture. So whatever works for you. So here we're going to do multiple drop downs. I used to have this side by side so that you could see the document and you could see the PowerApp in the background at the same time, but it's too small. So let's just go ahead and go through this. The first thing you need to do is you're going to need to create 2 drop downs and a search box, and make sure that you name them. Now I've given my names on them so that you can see through the screenshots of where I'm pointing, what I'm doing, okay? But it's very important. This is just kind of the overview. So let's look at the first step. The first step we need to do is create a collection, and the collection gets created on the screen itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here on the screen, now I'm on this screen right here called Gantt chart, and I want to go to my on visible property. Now my on visible property is the property that allows me, as soon as I click on this, so if I click over here and then I click back, as soon as a user clicks on it, it's going to automatically perform these collections. Okay, now I have my start timer that's moving, but here related to this video, we're really focused on these clear collects. So as we showed here in the document, we're going to create a clear collect first so that we can put in this all companies. Then we're going to do a collection where we're going to actually pull the data from the list and from the column. So if you get a little lost, go back to the document, pause the video, and then you can see where we're at. But let's go ahead and take a look here. So here we're doing the first one, and we want it to say all priorities. And what that means here is when we look here at the actual product, we want it to say all priorities. All priorities is not a value within the list itself. So we want it to say it at the top for us, okay? So that's what we're doing there. So let's go back to that start screen. There we go. All right. So all priorities. That's a clear collect where we're setting this up to add to it. Then we're going to collect on the same variable. Notice here on the same collection. We're collecting that same collection. See them both highlighted? Now we're going to throw in, this is the actual collection right here. That's the text for the actual collection. This is the list, priority tasks, and related ID is the column name. Again, right here, I've added that column name list. Okay, so, but we've added a sort to it, and we've asked it to be ascending. So we've added a sort to sort the results. So what does that look like when we go to the application? We actually go to the application, and all of our things are alphabetical. So we want that. That's what we want. Okay. So great. So that's the first thing you need to do. Now you need to create these collections for every one of your drop-down boxes. Now in my example here, I've only have 2. I have priorities and I have company name. Notice my priority one, it's called related ID in this list. It's not called priority, so just be aware. Okay. So whatever yours are, create a collection just like this. Just copy this whole thing and add your new all priorities in my example, and then I changed this to related ID. Okay. Next step, so get that done. All right. The next step we need to do is take those drop downs and point them to that collection. And this is relatively easy. So here we're at right here. We have the collection, right? And we just want to go to items and we want to point it to that collection name that we made. Remember, that's the collection we just did right here. Okay. That's the name right there. Okay. So we're going to point them both to those names. Okay. And again, that is in items. Okay. Easy peasy. All right. And then you can add this sort and this result here, and I'll give them alphabetized. And then we just went over this to add this to the name. Next step. See, we're cruising along. We want to create a text search box. Okay, so we want to be able to search for other things. So here I'm searching for task name, and I need to adjust this, and assigned name. So I can search for a task name or assigned name. Let's see what that looks like. So here, if I want to search for Jackson, for example, I can do that. Now notice here, let's go ahead and turn this back to Germany. Notice here that I have 2 for Jackson for Germany. But as soon as I click on that, notice it sets everything back to all companies and all priorities. I do that on purpose. I'm going to show you that here in just a second so that I can see everything that has Jackson in it. Okay, so let's see how we do that. So here, this is a standard text box, right? Text input box. Nothing fancy about this. We want to make sure there's no value there, and we want to put in instructions here. Okay, that's pretty easy right there. Then what we want to do is go ahead and take a look at a couple things that we have here. First of all, the on select. So let's go back to our document. I get ahead of myself. So we added this, and now we're going to do the reset. And this is what this is all drawing out right here is number 5. But basically we have the text box there. Notice we're highlighted on this, and we see those names again. Important to know what those drop down names are. And we're doing a reset, and that's all we're doing right here. Notice we do a reset of this, all companies and all priorities. So we're just resetting those values back to the default. Remember the default, I don't know if I showed you this yet, maybe it's in the instruction set. Default is right there, all companies, and then you go down to that drop box, go to default, boom, it's right there. Okay. So that's where we're at. Oh, and that's the next step. We want to make sure that we set the defaults, and then we reset. So this is the erase button that we have here. So that's this button right here. And it's the same thing as we did when we click on this in a few steps ago. We're just resetting, drop down, resetting, drop down company name. Okay. So that is when, you know, they're in here and they just want to reset. They just do that. Okay, or they can just click on here and it'll reset. Alrighty. All right, that's that. And now the last step. Now the last step is the hardest step, and this gets a little complex. But I want to make sure that we go over this real quick, and then I'll show it to you in the application itself. So the first thing that we're doing, notice here the purple boxes. We're sorting by columns. Now this is non-delegable. This list that I'm working with is actually very small, so I don't have to worry about that. But if you have to worry about that, just realize they're non-delegable, and see other videos I have on that. But we're just adding the sort by columns, okay? That's all we're doing right there. And we're just sorting on task follow update, and we're doing it in ascending. Easy peasy, purples. The blue is we're doing a search. Now this enables our search box. This enables this right here. So it enables us to do our search. Remember, all of this is on the gallery itself. We're looking... This is where all of this data is right here. It's gallery items. Okay, items right there for the gallery. See, we have the gallery right there. Okay, now all of this stuff in the yellow. Let's go through it one at a time and see if we can figure this out together. Okay, get that back where you can see it. Here, let's start at the top here. These are the names of my drop-down boxes right there, right in yellow. Okay, and then we're saying that if it's equal to all priorities and it's equal to all companies, right here, this is that text that we entered. Remember, we entered it in in when we created these right here. When we created these results, that's the text that we entered in there, okay? So we're saying, hey, if it's all equal to that, I want you to show, right? This is the first if. I want you to show priority tasks is the list name. So I want you to show everything in the list. So when you look at that, that's right here. So I'm showing everything in the list right here. If it's equal to all and equal to all, I'm good to go. Now, here are the differences. It's really not that tough. You just have to pay attention. So here we're doing the same thing. But what we're saying here is, again, right, refer back to this if you get lost on what these things are that I'm pointing to, column names and boxes and things like that. But I'm going to go through it right here. So this is the name of the dropdown. So the selected result, if it's equal to all priorities and the company name is not equal to all companies, then I want you to filter on the results picked with company name, right? So does that make sense? Because we're looking for, we're saying it's not equal to all companies. So we're going to search on whatever they have there. So let's look at this in real life. So here I'm saying all priorities is set to all priorities, but here I'm just searching on a company name. And if I'm searching on that company name, I just want you to show me whatever is in that company. Okay, well, it looks like I'm picking some duds there. Okay, there's one. Oh, and because we have Jack there, got to make sure those are cleared. So here, for example, Germany or Lush Advisors or LMWS or whatever, right? You can see how it just kind of all puts it on there for you. And that's exactly what we did with this filter right here. So we said that, that's the wrong section, gal tasks right here. We said all priorities is good. It's set to all priorities, but it's not equal to all companies. And we do the opposite right here. So you could copy this and paste it in. Remember, company name, notice that, company name, okay, company name. Notice here, related ID, okay? So here, we're going on this company. We're saying, okay, now we're saying that the related ID is not equal to all priorities, but company name is equal to all priorities, okay? So when you do that, then we need to show what the related ID is. So that in our example here, that means that this is set to all companies and this is set to the priority. And we're just going to list out whatever those priorities are, regardless of the company. Okay? I mean, hopefully this is making some sense. Then we want to just finalize, and this is for everything basically. We want to do all priorities, so the result in that dropdown is not equal to all priorities, and the result in this dropdown is not equal to all companies. Then what we want to do is show both results. So whatever's selected in the company and whatever's selected in related ID, we're going to show both those results. That's it. And then this you saw in the other one, this is for the search box and this is for the sort box. I'm going to go back to that screen one last time. If you want to pause the video, take a picture, and that's it. Once you get that all plugged in, then your drop downs will work. This has worked for me. I really hope it works for you, and good luck.